Okay, welcome in, you guys. Welcome into this three-part experience. I'm so excited about this because I do strongly feel like this is a revolution of like females in business, like women in business. This is massive. So today, you know, this, hold on, this conversation over these next 3 days is going to be very like it has a lot of potential. Okay. When I first learned this information, I like everything changed for me and it's ever growing, right? So anyway, I do want to say before we get in, it is a full moon. It is a full moon today in Leo. And so this is like, our emotions are heightened. Yes, it is. It's like our boldness and our truth is ready to just come out. We're here and we're in our full expression. Yes, Leo rising, so I can feel it totally. Okay. So as Sylvia is already blowing up the chat, I love this so much. I need you to be in the chat. Okay. So I want you to be loud. I want you to be communicating with me as we go through the conversation today, like really get in and amongst it and like, ask your questions. If anything comes up, if anything lands, share it in the chat because together over these 3 days, like we are going to blow up your business in the best way possible. It's going to feel so exciting, expansive, all the things. So as we Sorry, my computer is really slow this morning. An old man computer this morning. Okay, so like I mentioned, what I am going to teach you over these 3 days has completely changed my life. Okay, so this is how, some of you know my story, how I've gone from government housing to living on the beach in Costa Rica. Like I was that struggling single mom. Okay, like I was there. And so wherever you are right now, whether you're a mom or not, like there's a chance that I have been where you are. And so when we are starting our business, there's a big hype around, like putting in the work, like getting, putting one foot in the front of the other, like getting things done, doing the things, getting strategic. And there's so much more that comes before that. So we're going to talk about that today. And like, yeah, let's just get into it. Please load, computer. Or otherwise, we're just going to blow up your business the whole entire time like this. Okay. So imagine each of you, every single one of you who's here on this call, everyone watching the replay, everyone who registered, everyone who comes in contact with this, just this class alone, right? Decided to actually take their business to 10K months. And imagine that you all made it happen. So imagine the impact that that would have. Imagine the ripple effect. This is huge because I see in the online space so many women that have so much wisdom, so much passion, so much like everything, experience, whatever, uniqueness to share with the world, and they never do because they get in their own way most of the time, right? It's in our own way. It's in our head, continuing to live through old results, whatever it is. Okay, so those of you that are here live with me, I want to hear, why did you choose to sign up for this event? Okay, if you want to get in the chat, introduce yourself. Where are you tuning in from? What are your business goals? Like, what is your business? Who are you? Introduce yourself so we build a little bit of community here and we can really acknowledge each other and support each other where we're at. So let me know. Yeah, because there's never enough self-work. You can always go to the next level. There is always a next level. I love that, Sylvia. Okay, so the flow, continue to put those in the chat. The flow of what we're going to cover over these 3 days is going to look something like this. Okay, so today we're going to focus on the nervous system. Awesome. Raised in an old-fashioned family, trying to break away from those views. Love that. Amazing. Awareness is the first step. Okay, so today we're going to focus on the nervous system. We're going to learn a lot about the nervous system because, like I just said, awareness is the first step. Okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about inner child. We're going to talk about healing and soothing, and we're actually going to be tapping every single day. Okay, and then on part 3, activation and expansion, full embodiment of the version of us that makes 10K months. Okay. So I wanted to do another giveaway, you guys, because if you noticed in the email I think it was last night, if you take a screenshot of anything that we're doing here or us together in this space and share it on your stories and tag me, I want to create a custom tapping session for you. So you can give me a few pointers on like where you're at, where you want to be, what you believe is in the middle, and I'll create a custom audio tapping for you that will help you to shift them. Okay. So, you guys ready? Yay! So exciting, right, Sylvia? Such a good giveaway. Okay, who's ready? You guys are ready. Let's get into it. This is exciting. So, my intention for our time together is, like I started saying at the beginning, like I know that there is so much more when it comes to female entrepreneurship, women in business. There's so much more than just, all right, let's plan out your business and let's take massive action. Let's even take aligned action, whatever that even means, right? And then we go to show up on social media and we go to create the content. We go to put ourselves out in the world. And what happens? Guys, what happens if the results don't come? How do we feel? If we launch the masterclass and no one shows up, how do we feel? Frustrated. What do we make it mean? There must be something wrong with me. Oh my gosh, I only had two likes on my post. Nobody cares. The world's ending. Who am I anyway? What am I even doing? Wasting my time. And I'm not saying this to mock anyone at all, because I've been there. Okay. And this is, in my opinion, what a lot of women go through. And in my opinion, why a lot of women, I'm going to say even most women, don't actually go from being, average, like having a little business, to being like monumental. We're here to be monumental, right? We're here because we have a mission on our heart, a vision. We're here to change lives. We're here to help people live better lives. And we're here to be the best of ourselves. We're here to have our best dang life, full of freedom. We can live wherever we want. We can, and by doing that, by making insane money each month, we can then enable so many other women and show them how it's done, essentially, living through example, whether you coach in business or not, that's irrelevant. It's the ripple effect that happens when you fully empower yourself. Embodiment is the core concept here, right? The ripple effect is insane. Okay, so this is my intention here, is to help you to see what's actually happening. So that when you can go into your business and when you show up in your business, you don't bring all the stuff. You don't bring what happened last time. You don't bring even the cycle that a lot of us have been existing in. So let's talk about the cycle for a sec. We're going to get more into this when we talk actually about the nervous system as well. The cycle usually looks something like this. Okay, I'm going for it. This is what I'm doing. It feels so good. I'm so excited. I'm going to go for it. And I do it. I do the thing. Maybe I've got the masterclass. I've got the launch. I'm in the middle of the launch. Usually we plan out a 6 to 8 week launch, and we are in it, and we're doing the things. We're showing up on social media. We teach the masterclass. We do the things. And then the results kind of come, maybe kind of don't come. And we start to make it mean something. Just like we said, right? We start to make it mean something. And then what happens? All of a sudden, we've got to redo the launch. Or all of a sudden, we're like questioning, wavering. As we get into talking about the nervous system, we're going to know exactly what's happening here. But we start to maybe like freak out a little bit. We have maybe a little bit of anxiety. And then eventually, maybe what happens is we self-sabotage and we end up feeling like we want to cocoon, like we're frozen. We want to go into a dark space and we don't want to come out. And it's like, no, I've got healing to do. And let me know if this is resonating, you guys. Like, I don't know, I'm not ready yet. Okay. And it's like we cocoon around ourselves. And then something happens and maybe we're out again. And we're like, yes, okay, this time I got it. This time I got it. Yes. Right. And then we go in again and we're like, yeah, this is great. This is great. And then something happens. Somebody says something, somebody in your life that is significant, like gives their own opinion, and then it fucking crumbles. And we're in the same place. Okay. So I led a class the other day. Actually, I was guest speaking in a community for single moms. And Yeah, exactly, Sylvia. Sometimes like nothing happens and it's just in your head. You're literally like, and this is something that I have been so insanely aware of in my own business. And like I was saying, like on this class, this woman was like, are you even an entrepreneur if you don't want to burn your business down once a month? And I was like, actually, that's what I used to think. But now I choose to alchemize that energy into expansion. And I don't have that wavering anymore. I don't spend any time anymore in that self doubt. I don't give any power to it. And I'm going to teach you how to do that, of course. But you see the difference when we become aware of what's actually happening, which is what we're doing today, becoming aware of what's actually happening, we can then observe ourselves and recognize this is actually not the truth. Although it feels very true, this is not the truth. This is a cycle. And it is like a cycle that has been learned. Okay. The crab bucket theory or whatever, like it's kind of like that, but you're all the crabs. And the thing is that it's not that you're all of them, but all of your experiences are. Everything that you've been up to until now, everything you've learned is like that, keeping you back to what is normal, what feels safe. Okay, so crab buckets, if you have a bucket of crabs, like a literal bucket of crabs from the beach, and if one tries to escape, the other ones will pull them back down. And so that's it. Like, as if you think of each of those as like old experiences and you go and you're like, yeah, yeah, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. And then finally, like, one's got your leg and you're like, oh God, like, no, I don't have it. I'm not safe. That's what the bottom line is, right? I am not safe. And so the nervous system wants to keep us safe. Let's continue on. Okay, so before we get into the nervous system, I want to talk about the law of compensation because we're talking about self-worth this week. We're talking about money and self-worth. So many of you might be familiar with the law of compensation. I love this law. And if you are like, what is even a law? The laws, they are absolute laws that are independent of wherever you are in the world. They are absolute, as real as the law of gravity. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, it is happening all around us. Okay, so the law of compensation states that we'll be compensated based upon the need for what you do, how good you are at it, and your ability to be replaced. Normally, who decides this? The outside world, right? Normally, it's like society, your boss, like whatever it is. Normally, it's the outside world, but who actually decides this? We get to decide. Okay. We get to decide. You can always be replaced when you're vanilla. Yes, that's it. So, do you believe that there's a need for what you do? Do you believe that you're good at it? And do you believe you are unique and irreplaceable? You, no one else outside of you. Do you believe that? And what's going to happen the more we give ourselves permission to trust ourselves, turn up the dial on us, like fully express ourselves, we become the niche. We become the niche. We become the algorithm. The numbers don't matter. Okay. It's energy. Yes. It's magnetic. We become magnetic. And guess what happens in our business? It becomes effortless. I want you to hear that. And I want you to know it's possible. Because there's a lot of people in the online space that'll say, no, 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 nothing's effortless. No, it fucking can be. Okay, it can be. It can be effortless. Of course, there's back end shit to put together. Is that hard? No. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it necessary? Yes, when you want to scale. Okay. But other than that, showing up, creating content, yes, it can be effortless. And that's what we're going to talk about over these 3 days. We're going to lean into it being effortless and learn how to make it effortless. Okay. It can be effortless. It's so like refreshing. Oh my gosh, I don't need to struggle. Okay. So your self-worth equals your net worth. What does this mean? Law of compensation. Who you believe you are. How worthy you believe you are. What value you believe you are here to provide to the world is your net worth. Okay. And this is not, I was pondering this morning, actually. Some people are like, oh, I have an energetic minimum of $10,000 a month. I've never understood that. I've tried to wrap my head around it a lot, and I still don't understand it actually. Like where we are right now, I do not believe that's a thing. Okay, because there is an exchange. There is an exchange, and I don't care what your energetic minimum is. If you're not exchanging your wisdom, your expertise, your programs, your coaching, your whatever it is, if you're not exchanging that, there is no exchange. You are not going to continue to make money out of thin air. Okay. I spent my first year of my coaching business coaching and embodiment and manifestation. And I realized that a lot of women, we get stuck in the feminine and the femininity of business. Okay. What is feminine is like, energetics. It's more like meditation. It's fluid. It's flow. It's open and ready to receive. It's, that is awesome. And that is like a big chunk of what we're doing, right? What we're talking about, but there still needs to be action. And that's why we get to bring the masculine action together with the feminine energy. And that is where the magic happens. Okay. So energetic minimums, I don't know. I'm not there yet, apparently, but your self-worth is your net worth. Your net worth. What is your exchange? Because like I was saying, I spent the first year of my business coaching in that way. And I realized that a lot of me, even a lot of myself, was waiting for the money to come, waiting for the clients to come. And what I realized is that I was complacent as hell. What does that mean? That I literally was expecting 10K months. And if I was to look at my offer suite back then, my marketing, my language, what I was doing to assume that 10K months were mine, that I was ready and worthy of them, and I had the exchange, I would have, like, when I realized this, I was actually like hysterical because I was like, you are delirious. Like, and nothing's wrong with being delirious. I love being delirious and like delusional, right? This is part of the game is be, do, have. Yes, 100%. But where's your exchange? Okay. That's just something I wanted to share because that's something that I did not know and definitely would have changed my entire business is always thinking, what is my exchange? Because that is through what I receive from. And so, yes, the identity piece comes first. Identity is going to be like 80% of this, but then you also need to have that exchange. Otherwise, how are people going to actually pay you 10K months? Okay. So the nervous system, let's get into the goods because this is the thing. So you guys, let me know if you are familiar with the ventral vagal system. Anybody here seen this before? I feel like you guys would know this stuff. Okay. Oh, Sylvia, no. Oh, this is exciting. Victoria, yes. Okay. This is the ventral vagal system. So this is going to connect so many dots. It's going to be crazy. All right. So this is the polyvagal theory. So this is basically stating that there can be different states that our vagal system is in. This is our nervous system. So first of all, we have the ventral vagal system down at the bottom. This is our homeostasis, our like balance, our calm, our grounded, our curious, our all the things. We are open, we feel good. It is from this space and only from this place that creation, effortless creation happens. When we are in this ventral vagal system, this homeostasis, the parasympathetic nervous system is engaged. This is where creation and expansion happens. Okay. So sometimes we are in our sympathetic nervous system. So various things, whatever happens that triggers something or we're under stress or whatever it is, the nervous system is always the primary, function of the nervous system is to keep us safe. So it's always collecting information from around us through our five senses, sending it up through the brain to the brain, and then the brain gets to determine what we're doing with it. Okay, so really, this part of our brain can't determine the difference between us running from a tiger and some asshole commenting on our post or no likes on our post. That's basically what's happening. So we are triggered into this sympathetic nervous system where our body is ready to run from a damn tiger and not, it's not just to deal with somebody, block and delete someone's message. This is huge. So when we are in this state, we're in a heightened state. It could be feeling more like flight, like we're even like angry, or we're fight, moving towards anger, irritation, frustration. This could look like, why am I not further ahead in my business? Why is nobody liking my posts? Why is the algorithm so shitty? It's usually external shit, right? Or why am I not good enough? Why can't I be somebody else? Why do I have to be so emotional? Right? As we go through this, I want you to think where you have been, like what feels familiar to you. Okay. If you feel like sharing, that would be amazing. So then we have flight, right? Flight is more like panic. It's like, oh shit, like somebody commented on my thing and like I'm freaking out. It's anxiety, it's worry. Is there a specific one, Victoria? So we have fight, flight, fawn. Yes. Okay. And then fawn is like, oh, it's okay. Like you're totally right. I shouldn't have said that. Like I don't know what I'm doing, kind of like pleasing others, hiding, those sorts of things. Okay, flight and fawn. Yes. Oh my gosh. It can be like we're across the board, right? What we're doing here is again, we're building awareness. So some people explain the nervous system in a little bit of a different way. So I'm just going to give you a visual because right now we have our homeostasis, our parasympathetic, and then we have sympathetic, which is the fight or flight or fawn. And then we have our dorsal, which is our freeze. And so if you think of this, we have our sympathetic is actually a heightened, like high energy, right? This is us running from a tiger. Okay. This is the sympathetic is high energy, anxious, worried, like more or less, right? And then the dorsal is actually low energy. So you can see sometimes people explain it as like the ventral, the homeostasis in the middle. And then we have sympathetic above and then dorsal below. But I like this way of explaining it because I see it as almost like a linear concept. So sometimes if we do not deal with or address that irritation, for example, I'll use our first example, like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like I should be doing better. Nobody's liking my post. There must be something wrong with me. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. Okay. What happens after that? I have experienced this time and time again. Okay. In the past, before I knew this information and before I had these tools. Okay. After that, what tends to happen is we start to collapse. We start to freeze, we start to spiral. And that, like, what's wrong with me is like, what's actually wrong with me? Something's wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Everyone and their dog is way better than me. There's no room for me online. This feels exhausting. I'm like dying inside. I can't, the story goes on. Yes, the dog especially. It's like, there is no space for me in the world. And we start to collapse. And we start to shut down and we start to feel shame and embarrassment, disassociation, insomnia. We're not sleeping. Is this resonating? I have goosebumps, right? Then we have depression. You guys, this is what's happening. Do you see the cycle? Remember the cycle we talked about? So then something happens and we somehow, something kind of like shakes us a little bit and we're like, okay, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. It's all right. I'm doing okay. And then, the cycle continues. This was me. And I know this is so many women in the online space. Okay. And so, like I said, one woman was like, do you even have a business? Are you even an entrepreneur if you don't want to burn your business down once a month? And I was like, you know what? I'm done with giving my power away to this. I'm done with feeling like I want to hide and burn it all down because I know that I'm here to do really big things. And I have a lot of people that I'm here to support and I'm here to change their lives and help them to change their lives. Okay, so I don't need to spend more time in this. That was my realization. And so instead, I choose to notice it right away, catch it before I get into the freeze, right? So that I can actually alchemize it into something that is efficient, that is meaningful. Okay. So you guys, this is landing the ventral vagal system. What a relief, right? To know that this is actually a very common thing. Yes. Okay, so how do we then bring ourselves back into homeostasis? Yes, very visual. So I want to reiterate what I said a little bit ago because it's very important. I want us to think about how we feel when we are in a state of need. Okay, I need my business to work. I need more clients. I need to pay the rent. I need this to work. How do we feel in that space? It's like a chokehold, right? It's like anxious. Where are we in the nervous system when that's happening? In the sympathetic, right? We're in that high energy, angry with people too. Yep. All of those feelings. Okay. And then let's imagine that we go and sit down and try to create content, try to show up on social media from that space. What happens? We're like, fuck, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Right? Have fun with that. No, you show up and you're an asshole. Like, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is feeling awful. And you're like, I don't even know what to say. I myself have definitely, we've all done this, right? But we sit down and try to make content. We're like, what's wrong with me? Like, where's my inspiration? Yep. Salesy. Yep. But we can even do it like in a way that, it's not as like, I'm super anxious, but we're definitely not feeling super grounded. And so when we are creating content in that space, what could happen is we sit there and we're like, think, where's the inspiration? What's happening here? And it's so weird. Okay. But it's because in the fight or flight mode, all we're doing, like our brain is not even working. Our digestive system is not even working. You have digestive issues, check your stress, because that's why, right? Most of the time. So think about that. We don't actually even have the ability to think when we are in the fight or flight. And here we are trying to build businesses and live lives. Yes, it's basically impossible. So then how do we do it from a place of depression and disassociation and shutdown? It's not possible. We're like still burning it to the ground, right? All right. So how do we bring ourselves back to ventral vagal, to that homeostasis? Let's talk about it. The daily practice. This is a daily practice because without this, like without, now that we have the awareness, okay, I see awareness as like a seed within us that once it's cracked open, it's up to us to do something about it. The ball's in your court now. Now you know what's happening. The seed is cracked open. You cannot duct tape that shit back closed. Okay. The seed is open. And what you're going to do is you're going to start to water that seed of awareness. And you're going to that seed will start to grow and it'll take over. Okay. And what waters the seed? Daily practice. I love that. Motivation is like showering. It lasts 2 days. Awareness is what keeps you going. That's so good. Okay. So what does the daily practice look like? So, of course, I imagine that most of you here have a morning ritual, morning routine, whatever that looks like, right? This is not just necessary, it's mandatory. Okay. Starting now, it is a non-negotiable that you have a morning routine. Okay. Waiting for the computer to load. Your morning routine is like a lot of people say, my morning routine makes me money. It does. Like your morning routine changes everything for the day ahead. And so I always say that tomorrow starts tonight. Okay, tomorrow starts tonight. Of course, we need to prioritize sleep. Of course, we need to, spend some time without screens before bed. Those are obvious things, right? Phone outside the room. Tomorrow starts tonight. How can I start myself or set myself up with so much success tonight? Okay, maybe you do a visualization, a bath, have a, do a meditation, a little evening walk, like whatever that looks like. Tomorrow starts tonight. I notice such a difference when I use the breathing technique that I'm going to teach you in a second, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, but anyway, it's going to make sense. Where we elongate the exhale at nighttime and do that like 10 times before I go to bed, I notice such a difference in the morning. I wake up in a different mood. So if we go to bed with like heavy energy, in a negative state, in an like with anxiety and in that heightened state, what's going to happen? If we wake up in the morning, we're going to feel it still, right? And what's going to happen through the night is we're not going to rest. So anyway, tomorrow starts tonight, and then we have in the morning. Okay, what does that look like for you? It's going to be different-ish depending on where you're at. Flipping the screen here. Okay, I think hold on, did I pass one? Nope. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit different if you recognize that you currently are existing primarily in dorsal. So remember, dorsal is kind of like in the darkness, in like the cocoon, like, shut down kind of thing. So if you are recognizing that you're, in dorsal right now, or in some parts of your day or whatever, you dorsal, it's kind of like when we talk about yoga, because I know all of us actually are yoga instructors here, like it's kind of like, when we talk about our doshas, and if you are kapha is like dorsal. Kapha is like, it's heavy, it's dark, it's that. Okay. And so what does kapha need? What does kapha want? Kapha wants to sit and meditate, lavender oil, really nice and calming, and just the little movement. What does kapha need? Kapha needs movement. Kapha needs movement. It needs invigoration. It needs more energy. Okay, so dorsal is kind of similar in some ways. You want to move your body, and in the beginning, it's not going to feel maybe the best. Okay, but movement is a big piece of getting out of the darkness. So moving your body, a gentle workout, little walk, a vigorous walk, like yoga, whatever it is, like tapping, of course. Okay, and so this is basically like the root chakra is maybe imbalanced in this way. Need is different from want, almost always, right? So the root chakra is imbalanced. So you want to make sure that you're eating properly, carbs and protein. You want to really nourish yourself, right? And you want to remind yourself all the time you're grounded. You're grounded, but you're also uplifted. Okay, so if you use essential oils, it's something that grounds you, and lifts you up. Okay, so peppermint is energizing. It's also like great for blood flow and things like this. Cinnamon's also really good for the heart, like things like this is uplifting. All right, so that's how to get out of dorsal. Okay, and of course, like I mentioned already, tapping is going to be huge because we need to vent it out. We need to get that information out. So whatever we believe is, holding us, whatever we want to say, like hostage, whatever feels really real, getting it out of our system is how we're going to move through it. We don't want to continue to hold on to it. Okay, so and if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, or if you want any more clarity on anything. How do we move out of sympathetic? So sympathetic, like we talked about before, is kind of a little bit of almost the opposite, right? Because sympathetic can feel very high energy. It's like anxiety. It's, like rushing, feeling like the need to go faster. Okay, so for sympathetic, yes. So sympathetic is like we need soothing. Yes, this is like pitta, totally. Soothing, breathing, deep breaths. Okay, so let's do a breath together. In through the nose, fill the body, and then blow out an imaginary straw. Nice and slow. Even just doing that one time, we can notice the nervous system begin to calm down, right? That is incredibly efficient. Deep breaths like that, breath work. When you're in sympathetic, it's all about calming, right? Dorsal needs to get the energy moving and then calming, but sympathetic is like, okay, let's bring it back down. Let's calm. And I want to say like, excitement is of course, like a very great thing. So feeling like we're high energy and we're excited is different than feeling anxious, right? We need to kind of like recognize that a little bit, because I am a very passionate, high energy person, but I'm not anxious. I'm also very grounded and solid. Okay, so meditations, all the things, chilling out, chamomile tea, vetiver, lavender, all the things to like ground us. Okay, I'm solid, I'm safe, this is good, feeling solid. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit of how we kind of shift out of those two emotional states. When it comes to our morning routine, you're going to have to recognize, how am I feeling right now? And so most of us are going to be in and out of the sympathetic nervous system all the time. And I want to say that this is natural. This is normal. Our body knows, or used to know, how to shift in and out of the sympathetic, okay? Because that's how our body it's designed to do that. So maybe through the day, we have these little spikes of like, whoa, like I'm anxious, or I am like something happened, or someone said something like, and as a result, I've reacted, and now I feel like I'm anxious and like irritable or whatever. Doesn't matter. We're all human. That's going to happen. Yes or yes. I don't care who you are or where you are. It's going to happen. And so the work is that realizing, oh, I'm in a heightened state of awareness right now, and it doesn't feel good. And therefore, it's up to me to do something about it. And I shift, and I'm safe. It is okay. I do not need to freak out. We're all good. Okay. And then just us alone, I feel like this is us working with our nervous system, right? Because our nervous system doesn't necessarily, I don't know, I guess it does have eyes, but it doesn't necessarily like know how to drive. You know what I mean? Like we're the driver. Our nervous system is very much like the wheels of the car and things like that. Okay, that's how I see it anyway. Okay, so we're going to go in and out of the sympathetic nervous system, and that is normal. It's up to us to catch ourselves before, remember we talked about that spiraling, that spiral, the self-sabotage, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I want to mention one thing before we get into some tapping here is, I want us to ask ourselves, like, are we living conditionally right now? And are we showing up in our businesses conditionally? Because if we are operating from an old model of, what is it? I always get it all mixed up. Instead of be, do, have, it is do, have, be. Do the thing so we can have the thing, and then we'll be successful. This is embodiment in a nutshell, right? But instead, we need to remember it's be, do, have. So whatever is happening in our environment, whatever our current results are, we are not allowing them, starting now, to affect us. All it is information. All it is information. Okay. And so instead of living conditionally and saying, okay, well, I'm going to show up when I have more followers, or like, I'm going to speak to that higher level client, the one that I really truly know I'm here to speak to, and I know that I can help them change their entire lives when I have more experience. Or, whatever it is, I'm going to say the things I actually want to say when this happens. Starting now, and this is a big piece of these 3 days together, we are unconditional. We are unconditionally living, and we are unconditionally showing up in our businesses. Yes, we must, because we must detach from our current results. We must detach to whatever the hell happens or somebody says, and we must realize that we are in control, and we can actually work with our nervous system to become unshakable, so that no matter what happens to our days, we can hold it. We can hold it. And that's the tapping that we're going to do right now. We're going to move through a morning tapping together. And I know it's not the morning for you too, but we're going to do it anyway. And I'm going to record it. And then you can practice it every morning going forward. And it's going to set the tone of the day. And it's going to remind you that you're safe and all the things. Okay. So I want to hear in the chat, how do you want to feel every morning? Best case scenario, how do you want to feel? Regardless of your results, how do you want to feel? light, joyful, inspired. Yes. Trusting myself. Yes. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing so that you can see me fully. Here we are. I'm going to pin me. Give me one sec. All right. So we can see me a little bit better. So let's move into some tapping. If you have never tapped with me, actually, let me know. I know Sylvia has, I think, but I don't think Victoria has. If you've never tapped with me, oh, not with me. Okay. Um, I do things a little differently. I've created my own tapping method called the expand method. So the expand method follows three basic premises, which we're going to learn about through this week together. But this morning tapping, we are going to feel light and joyful and inspired and trusting in myself. Okay. So lots of inspiration happening. And basically, I have different tapping points than some people. So I'll explain the tapping points a little bit first, and then we can get right into the tapping where you're literally just going to repeat after me. Okay. So tapping points um, for venting and processing, we tap on the side of the hand to release. Okay. Um, Otherwise, we tap starting on the top of the head, and it doesn't matter how you tap. If you want to get creative, it's all good. Eyebrows, side of the eyes, it's more like the bone, not the temple. Under the eyes, under the nose, under the mouth. And then we have collarbones, which I like to just kind of move around a little bit. So what we're doing is we're tapping on acupressure points, energy meridians in the body, by the way, under the arms. So this is like if you had a bra on, it would be like the bra line, more or less. And then the last one, sorry, second to last, under the chest. So again, along the bra line, you can tap like this, or you can tap like this, whatever works for you. And roughly, again, around the bra line. The one under the arms is a little bit further up, actually. And then we have our wrists. Okay, so those are all the tapping points we're going to move through. And I repeat them. I repeat them as we go. Are you guys ready? So find a comfortable seat. Let's roll the shoulders up and back. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then slowly exhale through that straw. And just noticing, tuning in to how you're feeling right now, how you're feeling in your body. How you're feeling emotionally. Okay, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we're going to start tapping right on the top of the head. I'm actually going to record this. All right, so we're going to start by tapping on the top of the head. Give me one moment. I'm just going to audio it actually. Okay. Tapping on the top of the head, repeating after me. Today is going to be the most incredible day. Eyebrows, I feel so ready. Side of the eyes, so grounded. Under the eyes, so solid. Under the nose, so open and ready to receive. Under the mouth, all the good that is on its way to me now. Collarbones, and I'm so excited to start the day. Under the arms, feeling this way. Under the chest, inspired and light. Wrists with this joy in my heart. Top of the head, knowing that I'm safe. Eyebrows grounded and supported. Side of the eyes, and knowing that my dreams are already manifesting. Under the eyes. And so as I go through my day today, under the nose, no matter what comes my way, under the mouth, I can hold it. Collarbone. And this feels very empowering. Under the arms, and it feels very energizing and exciting. Under the chest. And I'm actually very proud of myself. Wrists, because today I'm choosing to slow down. Top of the head, to enjoy the journey. Eyebrows, and to remember that everything is happening for me today. Side of the eyes, my nervous system is healthy and stable. Under the eyes, I am solid AF, whatever you want to say. Under the nose, I'm actually unshakable. Under the mouth, and I don't need to rush through my day. Collarbone, and the more I lean into this, under the arms, the more time I will have. Under the chest, the more I will accomplish. Wrists, the more impact I will make. Top of the head, and the more fun I'm going to have. Eyebrows, and so I'm going into my day today. Side of the eyes, knowing that my nervous system is calm and soothed. Under the eyes, and no matter what comes my way, underneath the nose, I got it. Underneath the mouth, and I get to make today the best day ever. Collarbone point, I give myself permission to fully express myself. Under the arms, to trust myself. Underneath the chest, and to take exciting embodied action. Wrists, from the space of knowing, top of the head, that I'm grounded. Eyebrows, that everything's happening for me. Side of the eyes, and that no matter what comes my way, under the eyes, I can hold it. Under the nose, and everything's happening for me now. Under the mouth, and this feels, how's it feel? One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Hold the breath, and then slowly release through the straw. Noticing how you're feeling. Noticing the new energy circulating. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Okay, I know it's not morning for you guys, but how do you feel? How do you feel? Tell me in the chat. So good. Sylvia, I noticed you were yawning. I do know that it is evening there-ish, but that is our nervous system shifting gears. Our nervous system shifting out of sympathetic into homeostasis, so much lighter. Yes, yawning is a response. It is a response. Yes, ready to take on the day. Yes, amazing. This is so good. Okay. And that was a 5-minute session. Starting today, effective immediately, tapping is now part of your morning routine. You have 5 minutes, and it's going to change your life. Okay. Yes. Because we get to take back our power and realize, yes, I get to choose. The short version, yes, it's going to be on the replays page and you can download it there. Magical. Amazing. All right, you guys. So this is the power of first awareness, because without awareness, we don't have anything to change, right? That's huge. So we have awareness, and then now we have tools. What are the points for it? So we're tapping on the energy meridians in the body. Yeah. So we're clearing. So let me just give you a little like backstory of quick of tapping here. We have a couple minutes. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. So I love tapping for many different reasons, but one of them is that we're basically with tapping and using our voice like this, we are giving a voice to the voices inside. Okay. And we are allowing them to come out. We essentially freeing them from our body. Tapping is emotional freedom techniques. We are freeing stored emotion and traumas in our body, and by giving them a voice. And as women, entrepreneurial women, this is everything, because then we break out of these cycles. We break out of the cycles and we give a voice to these things that we've been sweeping under the rug basically for our entire lives. And so all of this information that we've collected over our entire lifetime, we have been existing through it. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow. And so once we shine a light on it and realize, hey, I see you there. I see you, younger version of me. Take my hand. We got this. We are solid. We are safe. You know, what happened to you was not right, but it's time that we heal from it. And because we got work to do, right? Okay, we're going to talk all about that tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. It's effective in everybody. Absolutely. Tapping is incredible. Okay, so people use tapping for a lot of different things. My specific method is based upon the premise that and the belief that we free this information from our body so that we can expand, so that we can activate and expand. Because a lot of people in the online space, coaches and what have you, will kind of try to skip. They'll go from like A to D. You know, it's like, okay, this is where you're at. It's okay. Let's just go bigger. And a lot of embodiment coaching kind of gets a little bit disrupted in this regard. It's like, okay, who do I need to be? Okay, I'm just going to be here now. I'm going to be here now. I'm going to continue to override the old. I'm going to just be her now. What about all the other shit? What about all the other stuff that is still like eating us away inside? Tapping is a way that we can get it out. We can heal from it. We can soothe, right? And we can activate and we can expand. And we can do that in a very short amount of time. That tapping session was 5 minutes long. And so that one, tomorrow we're going to talk about the inner child. We're going to do some grounding work. We're going to bring together my first two kind of like concepts of my tapping method. So venting and processing, bringing it out, healing it, and then soothing it. Okay, all tomorrow. And then on day 3, we're going to move into activating and expanding an actual embodiment of that version of us. Okay, you guys. So anybody have any questions, you're welcome to drop them in the chat. Reminder of the giveaway, if you guys want to take a screenshot and share it to your stories and what you're doing. And what else do I have to say? There was another slide. And I will see you tomorrow. That's it for today. Yes. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for being here live with me. And hi to everyone on the replay. Go and have the best day ever. And I'm going to see you same time, same place tomorrow for our day 2. Bye, you guys.